I bring to you a short conversation with an expert or a thought leader in the realm of innovation for the built environment. My name is Jeff Echols. I am a senior advisor and the head of marketing for Shadow Partners. And this is my opportunity to bring to you conversations about innovating in the built environment. Today's presentation is an Encore presentation. This is my conversation with Amr Raafat. He is the Chief Innovation Officer at Windover Construction, and we talk about industrialized construction. It's one of the most popular themes, one of the most popular topics that we discuss in our world. It's one of the topics that many people, many of our partners, many people in our network have questions about. So this is an interesting conversation with Amr Raafat. In the future, one pivot that's coming up for Shadow Shorts is to provide Q&A time for all of our Shadow Shorts guests. If you're interested in that concept and in that format, let me know in the comments below as we start to plan for the next phase of Shadow Shorts. It'll be good to know what you're interested in. With that, enjoy this conversation with Amr Raafat from Windover Construction. All right, welcome back to Shadow Shorts, where every weekday at noon Eastern, I bring to you a conversation with an expert or a thought leader in the realm of innovation for the built environment. My name is Jeff Echols. I'm a senior advisor and the head of marketing for Shadow Partners. And today I am joined by someone who has a lot of passion for industrialized construction. We're going to delve into that here in just a minute. But Amr Raafat, who is the Chief Innovation Officer for Windover Construction, is my guest today. And I'm really looking forward to this conversation today, Amr, because before we went live, we touched on a lot of different things, a lot of different aspects, but it really comes down to your work and how are we changing the future of construction through efficiency and all of the technologies that we have. So I'm really looking forward to jumping into this with you. Thanks for joining me today.
So good to see you, Jeff. Thank you so much, and very excited for this great conversation to talk about industrialized construction. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you're here. And so at Windover Construction, industrialized construction is a very broad topic. It's a very broad subject to talk about. And at Windover, you're really focusing on prefabrication. So when you think about what you're working on and how you're approaching and looking at the future really of what you're doing, where does prefab come into the industry and how does it change what we're doing here just past the middle of 2023, but as we're looking later in the year in 24 and 25, how's prefab changed things?
Our approach we bring up a great point, Jeff. It's about how we transform the way we build. Our approach at Windover for prefab is to really increase efficiencies and quality. We built so many prefab modular projects over the years and built this in-house expertise of superintendents and project managers who knows how to plan and build modular, along with leading edge technology and innovative solutions to support it, to make it really efficient. So prefab needs a lot of planning at the beginning, especially modular projects, but also along with technologies that can support that, like QA/QC, coordinating what's built on site versus what's built miles away in a factory, really help bring these efficiencies together and get the most benefit of prefab projects. I consider prefab and industrialized construction as an opportunity for our industry, bringing up efficiencies that's coming from other industries such as automotive industry. Bring these efficiencies of a enclosed factory, high quality, paying to every detail in an environment that is safe for all our builders in a factory, working on eye level, caring about all the details. It's like making a car with all the efficiencies that comes with that. So when it arrives on site, you have the best quality, achieved the most safety aspects to it, as long as saving huge time on site. At Windover, we're very proud. Brought our client at Endicott College vision to life. Over the years, we built a lot of buildings in that campus to bring their vision to life. And one of those buildings we built in modular It was during winter time. There was a lot of snowstorms, so I can't imagine we would meet the schedule if it wasn't modular, because it minimized the time on site, and we were able to meet the schedule and deliver a high quality building with modular construction.
Yeah, and I love that. You brought up several things there. One, you talked about superintendents, you talked about the people, right? And you talked about the technologies. And then, of course, you've got schedules and budgets and things like that. But that, to me, that intersection of the people and the technologies is really interesting. One of the big issues that we hear about all the time is the gap of skilled labor. And you also brought into the safety and productivity and everything else, which is important, obviously. But as you look at where you've been, right, Endicott College and all the projects that you've worked on over the years, where are things headed? How are things going to change? I think as you're talking about this, you're talking about the modular, the prefab, bringing efficiencies to the industry and quality and everything else. Where are you pushing the limits? Where are you pushing the boxes? How is prefab, modular, industrialized, whatever terms we want to use, how is that going to change as we move forward?
So there is a prefab. It doesn't have to be actually the whole volumetric modular. We actually over the years used, for example, additive manufacturing. We are collaborating and partnering with Autodesk Technology Center in Boston. We had a historic facade that was falling apart, and we created exact replicas of this facade using additive manufacturing. We laser scanned all the elements, and then we created prefab elements for these historic elements using different materials, for example. So that's another aspect way to look at it, in addition to our volumetric modular work, which is also pushing the limit on how we can really deliver high quality senior housing or affordable housing as well, without compromising quality. So modular construction could be really a great tool to utilize to deliver affordable housing in the most high quality and efficient ways. Because to me, affordable housing is good quality and good value with efficiencies as well. And you can really achieve those efficiencies by applying these prefab technologies, this BIM data, to take it into fabrication, along with all the QA/QC during construction. One challenge, Jeff, all offsite construction meets is that sometimes you have a podium or you have on-site conditions and you have pieces or elements built miles away. How to coordinate these pieces together? Because if any surprise happen, that takes away the offsite construction advantage, which is saving time on site. So we make sure at Windover we're using the leading edge technology to coordinate these different elements. So make sure when these pieces arrive on site, there are no surprises and these fit perfectly. We've seen, I expect industrialized construction to grow even more. Windover right now is planning and going to build the largest mass timber project for industrial factory for Blueprint in Connecticut in North America. It's the largest in North America. So you have prefab can include also the mass timber technology as well as volumetric modular. We talked about additive manufacturing along with efficiencies that comes with even telescopic studs. We're the first company to utilize the HOEX based in New Zealand. The great technology of telescopic stud fitting out interior spaces in a fraction of time of traditional methods using telescopic studs that can be prefab by BIM technology and in a HOEX machine, and it travels very small, and when it goes to its intended location it can expand. So prefab really define how we build on site, increasing safety. For us, it's more tech solution based, that is offering a solution to a challenge. So as long as it's offering solution to a challenge, that's when we embrace it and push to use it to offer clients substantial cost savings or time savings or both.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And you just mentioned, you rattled off several things right there: BIM technology, reality capture. I think you mentioned, and I think in my mind, and maybe this is just my predisposition, but in my mind, a lot of times when I think prefab and think, okay, well, that's a modular wall system, or like you said, it could be a volumetric, it could be a box, so to speak. But you mentioned mass timber, and I think for those who aren't all that familiar or not immersed in the world of prefab, modular, industrialized construction, they may not realize that you're talking, like you said, BIM data, reality capture, if it's in the example of the Autodesk project, but also different types of construction, and um, that to me says we're turning a corner, right? It's we're not just building these nondescript boxes in a factory. We're actually we're building designed objects. We're building beautiful projects, and of course, what you're bringing into the conversation as well is the quality and affordability is very, very important. I mean, we talked about skilled labor gap, but now you're talking about housing affordability, accessible housing, which is incredibly important, a huge issue here in the United States. So you're wrapping a lot of things together into this, and really kind of, I think on every level affecting the future of construction.
Absolutely, and I believe that prefab or industrialized the construction as a whole can be really the answer for our affordable housing mission here. Uh,
Mhm.
it could be the answer for higher safety in. Let's compare the safety in automotive industry and construction industry.
Yeah.
We got to really build buildings without anyone gets hurt with the
Mhm.
technology we have. It's actually also can let you brought up a great point about skilled labor. We can really tackle this challenge of shortage of skilled labor using those automotive industry. Here at Windover, we work a lot with technical schools in our area to go do presentations, work with them, internships to bring the new talent in and let them know that construction is not only about the hammer or concrete, it's also got innovation to it. They can use robotics, they can use different, and through our partnership and collaboration with Autodesk, we have access to the latest and greatest robotics and technology innovation in the tech center in Boston. So we get them exposed, the new generation, new students, that hey, construction can be really fun to work with. It's got automation, got robotics. Then that's how we can really attract the talent to work with our industry and transform the way we build. It's not about decreasing workforce. It's about attracting talented workforce that they should be able to work in construction. Again, with virtual reality, we do a lot of virtual reality in construction to manage change. All these things can really, if we let it out there and train new generations to join our industry, that's how we can really attract talent.
Yeah, I like that. And so, I mean, it's anybody that's watching this right now can tell that you've got a lot of passion for everything that we're talking about. And I love that. And I think that's important. So, as you look out towards the end of this year and, of course, far beyond, if you had to pick one thing, what would you say that you're most excited about as you look out to the future of industrialized construction?
I'm really excited about the people component to it. So at Windover, we love to build uh, our mission is build the great things with great people. Technology and innovation has two pillars: the technology, which is the tools we use, the BAM data, the latest and greatest in robotics and drone surveys and laser scanners, and got the people aspect to it. So what we're working on and Windover make these two elements work together and have the synergy between them. Because you can have the latest technology sitting there, and you don't have the people who have the passion and there's a vision to utilize it, then we're not going to go anywhere. So I totally encourage everyone to always do this work on the synergy between the people and the culture. That's culture-driven innovation with the technology we have, because together that's how we can bring really innovative solutions to push things forward.
Yeah. As you've been laying this out, I mean, you've got improved quality, you've got improved safety, you've got closing the gap in skilled labor, you've got the ability to um, provide quality housing, at a better value, right? Cost. So you've made a great case for industrialized construction. If I'm a developer, I'm the CEO of a development company in New England. I mean, you're based in Boston, so um, New England or anywhere in the country for that matter. And none of my projects to date, right? What are we, end of August 2023? None of my projects to date have incorporated any prefab, any modular, anything in what we would call industrialized construction. But I'm curious, right? I'm listening to this conversation, and I'm sold on the idea, right? I'm sold on the quality and the cost and everything else. What do I need to be thinking about as I move forward towards my next project, where I might be able to start incorporating some of the things that you're talking about? I might be able to think, okay, I've got to build this laboratory building, or I've got to build this multifamily. As the leader of a development company, what do I need to know? What do I need to be thinking about in terms of industrialized construction for my next project?
Well, you bring up a great point, Jeff. We had owner and been delighted to work with developers who their mission was to provide high quality, in the same time preserving at the end of the day doing the most efficient cost for this project. So quality and cost, they go by together. So my advice is to start early planning. Have the builder work together with the architect to design, to work together collaboratively early on in the process on how these buildings should be designed. Over the years, our in-house modular and the prefab experts, project managers, senior project manager who have built so many modular, work together early on. We're doing now affordable housing in Somerville, Massachusetts. It's a great project. And we've been working early on with the architect hand by hand to make sure we preserve their design intent. What's built, what's designed will really be built in the highest quality. So my advice to developers to bring everyone in the table early on in the process, the builder, the innovative builder, and the architects to work together, and with them. They are also a part of the equation. They are partners into this. That's how we can really push the efficiencies of modular and prefab projects. And also, maybe they start small. It doesn't have to be the biggest project altogether. Start small, stop test. I always like to say, even in other technologies, stop testing, start building. So we can even start with a smaller project, and you're gonna learn along the way how pieces are set together. So the second project will be much more efficient than the first project, but you get to start somewhere to really benefit from these time savings, cost savings, as well as the quality that comes with industrialized construction, building things in a closed environment in a factory, being used highest quality compared to things built on site, whether in a very warm weather or in a very cold weather like here in New England.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. That makes a lot of sense to me. And we were talking before we went live that here at Shadow Partners, one of the topics, there's two or three topics that we get asked about over and over and over when it comes to our advisory and consulting, and one of them is industrialized construction. What role do we play? Where do we fit, et cetera? And so if you're out there wondering about, especially on the developer side, maybe if you're wondering about industrialized construction, I think what Amr has laid out for us today and explained for us today and shared with us today is probably eye-opening to you. And I think it gives you some marching orders, some things to think about. So Amr, thank you so much for this conversation today. And again, I love the passion that you exude for industrialized construction. I really do think you are changing the face of construction as we look into the future.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you for having me. It's been a delight.
Absolutely. Glad that you're here. So I've been talking today with Amr Raafat. He is the Chief Innovation Officer at Windover Construction. We've been talking about industrialized construction and all the components, all the things that go into that. So thanks for joining us today. I'll be back again tomorrow with another episode of Shadow Shorts, another expert or thought leader in the realm of innovation for the built environment. And until then, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.